Morning. This is Dave. Morning, Dave. Cowboy, Dave. Anyhow, 2011, we just left the shelter. Came down this rocky thing. Got to the waterfall. I crossed over and realized that our trail is down. It's down the water. Unbelievable. It's gonna be another one of those days, people. This is what we signed up for, though, so just don't know how to unsign up. All right, the day begins. Talk to you later. Hey everyone, end of day 111. Started out tough. We were hiking down a trail that was also the water source for the shelter we were at. That was the worst part of the whole day, though. Once we got off of that, we did some work. We did ups and downs, rocks, and etc. But at 4 miles in, we visited our first hut of the White Mountains, which is a place where people can stay indoors. They'll pay the price to sleep in a bunk, much like a hostel, but much more expensive. They'll get dinner and breakfast, and there's a crew there that stays out there for, I think the woman said 8 days, and then they have 3 days off through the summer season. But anyhow, very nice people. Through hikers, we got a card at our first shelter visit from the caretaker there. We paid the fee to sleep there. They entitled us to two free baked goods and one bowl of soup. We got the we got the baked goods there, and bought some. Got a lowdown on exactly how to work to stay, which entitles, if you get there at 4 o'clock and you ask them if they have work to stay, then you'll work up to 2 hours. She said, like sweeping or mopping or whatever chore they have. It's usually not 2 hours, but then at 9 o'clock, when their common areas close out and everyone goes to their bunks, you get to eat the leftovers, which sometimes is pretty high, and then you get to sleep on the floor, which doesn't sound all that great, but that's what I'm doing right now in this shelter. So if someone's gonna feed me and I get to sleep indoors, I think that's a pretty good deal. So anyhow, that was our first visit, the first hut, and then later on in the day we got to our second hut, and we went in because we wanted to get coffee, maybe a bowl of soup, because they don't have soup in the morning. Well, this hut did not have soup. they didn't have soup on, but they did have cinnamon raisin loaf or something. So we got one of them and a cold coffee. And then when they found out we were through hikers, the guy came out from back with a half loaf of this cinnamon that they had not used, and asked if we wanted it. So we took it. We ate half of it there and then brought the other half for our dinner. We also raided the hiker box for a couple of things of ramen and some wipes that I needed. I was down to my last one, so it worked out well. So anyhow, we left there, and the next 5.9 miles to the shelter were very easy. It was like we weren't in the whites at all, but we were. So we got here, still daylight. Get here in the ATC or whatever. They had a training class going on in the shelter, but he moved over so we could put our stuff in. And there's a group of 8th graders here from a school nearby, and that's their outdoor club. They're all graduating, and they have a 5-day outing here in the Whites. So they're pretty noisy. You probably might even heard them in the background. Hopefully they quiet down before too late. But anyhow, it was a very good day. 15 miles, I think 15 miles exactly. Didn't take us 12 hours like it did yesterday. And that's with 2 hut visits. And we got the lowdown on it for tomorrow. Tomorrow's going to be a hut stay. We're going to try and do a work for stay. Or this one's large enough where you can pay $10 to sleep in the dungeon, which is the storage room. Hikers call it the dungeon, but you can pay $10 to stay in the dungeon. Either way, it'll line us up for a 4-mile ascent of Mount Washington, and then we have to hike over and come down Madison, and it's all above tree line, so the cold, wet rain we've had will be real cold up there, possibly snow with 40-mile-an-hour gust. So we're trying to get through that as quick as we can. If we could start out with just a 4-mile ascent instead of a 9, we should be able to get up and over pretty fast, but we still have fresh legs, and get out of the Whites unscathed, hopefully. So anyhow, that's our plan. We'll see how the plan works tomorrow when we put it in action. So this is good night, and I'll see you tomorrow.